And thank you all for being here as we take a major step to ensure the United States is fully prepared to welcome the world to Los Angeles for the 2028 Summer Olympic Games. Very exciting.
With the LA Olympics just 3 years away, President Donald Trump has now signed an executive order creating a White House task force to oversee the Games. Who would lead the task force? Well, President Trump. He's vowing to protect the Games with a strong military presence. But his announcement comes amid growing tensions between Trump and California. David Wharton has covered many Olympic Games and joined us to explain this unprecedented move. It is good to have you back. Thank you for being here.
It's good to be back.
Okay, when we heard that President Trump had named himself the chair of a White House task force on our Olympics, the response was, what? Why?
Well, look, the federal government tends to get involved in big events, whether it's like the Super Bowl or the Academy Awards. And with the Olympics, it's common practice to create this task force and even to have troops on the ground, which he mentioned during this. But what's not common is for the president to name himself head of the task force. And the whole troop thing might be common practice, but under the current circumstances, it's a real flashpoint because with all the chaos that we've been through in Los Angeles, that raises immediate concerns and understandably upsets a lot of people because they wonder, is he going to take this too far? Is he going to be so much involved in this that he uses it for political reasons or just gets too aggressive with all of this?
Right, and will the military also include, ICE agents, going to venues? Well,
that's the thing, and the fact that he's so upfront on this, like Clinton named Gore the head of the task force. It's usually someone farther down the line. But the fact that he's so upfront on this means that he could be making decisions that go way beyond just running the Olympic Games.
He specifically shouted out homelessness. He wants to make the homeless disappear. We all want to solve the homelessness crisis. There are real concerns about how it might be done under Trump's vision.
We have seen in past Olympics, homeless people sort of forcibly moved to get them out of the way of all the people that are coming and the television cameras. At the very least, if you go to the Games and you go to a stadium or an arena, the security perimeter can extend for blocks in every direction. So at the very least, homeless people within that perimeter would be forcibly moved. Again, there's this fear that will they go a step beyond? Specifically, will Trump go a step beyond and start carting people out to the desert or putting them in weird tent camps somewhere? And really, the Olympics, they don't really have control over that. It's the city, it's the state, it's the federal government, the law enforcement.
So what have we heard from the city and the state and law enforcement? What do they think about all this?
We haven't heard a whole ton. I mean, locally, they've promised not to do that. The local organizers are scheduled to present what they call a human rights report to the city council to sort of address how they think this should be handled. But again, it's not organizers' ultimate decision. And if the federal government decides to get involved, can the city stop them if they want to?
David, you have covered so many Olympics over the years, and I got to ask you, it's not just homelessness that we have to deal with. Traffic flow, the condition of our airports, our highways, our policing. Do we have enough local cops on the beat, firefighters? Are we ready for this?
It's a good question. I don't know if anyone's ever really ready for an Olympics. It's such a massive undertaking. But there are maybe a handful of cities in the world that can do the Olympics, right? And LA is one of them. We've already got all the stadiums and arenas. We've already got the athletes' village. So that's 90% of the way there. But there are a lot of things that need to be taken care of, and I think that the Olympic community is kind of watching this and going like, we hope this gets done to some extent, and also they don't like being sort of held responsible for all it, because they're saying we didn't create all this, but it obviously needs to get better.
It's an expensive project for any city to do. In fact, we wrote about it in the last few days. People were saying, hey, could we pull out? I mean, and the answer is no, you can't pull out at this point, but there's another way to gin up some money that might help.
Yeah, I mean, the thing you have to remember is that the organizers have vowed to pull in enough revenue to cover all of the expenses, which will probably end up being north of $7 billion. Normally, in an Olympics, the International Olympic Committee makes you sanitize the name of the venue. So SoFi Stadium becomes the stadium in Inglewood. Now, LA 28, the organizers, are being allowed to keep those endorsement names on the venues, which is another revenue stream. And that way, it can help cover the costs, because if they can't foot the bill, taxpayers are on the hook for covering any shortfalls.
And we'll have to wait and see if President Trump decides he wants his name on any of the venues.
It could happen.
David Wharton, thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage. And click the subscribe button here. You can also download our app and watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.